You know that song by Janae Aiko? She was like, I'm triggered, I am not okay. Just seeing someone's name, it could trigger you. Trigger past memories, trigger a lot of unsaid things. I'm gonna tell you this, like I used to be so scared to go into like Walmart by myself. Like I used to be so scared. Like I used to be like, I had so much anxiety, like so much anxiety. I used to be so scared to go put my gas on my, like I used to be like scared. People's gonna be looking at me. They're gonna be thinking I'm looking like this, or thinking they're gonna be judging me. Why do I always feel like someone's judging me? Oh, because I got judged when I was a kid a lot. I used to always get judged and questioned. Hey guys, so welcome back to a new YouTube video, sending you love and positivity as always. As you can see by the title of this video is going to be a bit different. We're going to be talking about the T word, triggered or triggering. So you've probably heard this word like a lot, especially on social media, getting triggered, being triggered, or that triggered me, she triggered me, that triggered me, he triggered me, so on and so on. And I really want to talk about that. So getting triggered. So getting triggered is like someone bringing up the past, someone bringing up a feeling, like a smell can trigger something, you know, something you ate can trigger something. Just anything can trigger something. It's bringing up a past memory, a past thought, a past feeling, a past. So I feel like a lot of times when people get triggered, they mostly talking about like trauma they had, or relationship, or feelings, emotions, you know. You can also get triggered by a smell, like it will smell like some type of perfume and it reminds you of someone, and it's not even a bad thing, you know, like when people think of trigger, they're thinking about bad, but you can get triggered and just by smelling something, like, wow, this reminds me of so-and-so, and it doesn't have to be sad, it doesn't have to be a bad thing. But most of the time when we use the T word, we're talking about bad things. So I really want to talk about that, like getting triggered, why are we getting triggered, how you can cope with getting triggered, basically how can we cope with our emotions, our past. So I want to start by saying you cannot control other people. You can't control what people say. You can't control what people do. You can't control them. As much as you want to, you can't control them. And I feel like control and fear goes hand in hand. Like, kind of. Like, fear is false accusations appearing real. And like, a lot of people don't like, you know, like, you don't want to be scared. You don't like fear. You don't like, if you're filled with so much fear, sometimes you tend to control things, and then you start to manipulate things, and then you become a narcissist, you know, because you're trying to have a hold of everything, to control everything, to make yourself feel better, to cope with your fear, you know. And it's all because it's triggering your past. You didn't have control when you were a kid, and a lot of things happened, and you weren't able to do what you wanted to do, or you weren't able to go where you wanted to go, or you weren't able to be who you wanted to be. So when you grow up in your adult life, you have a tendency to try to control things. That control, like you're trying to hold something so tight. I feel like when I really think, by the way, I want a disclaimer. This is all based on my opinions and what I've seen through life and what I've heard and things I've been through. So I'm not a doctor. I'm just Ariana. Just to clear the air. But when you're trying to hold on to something so tight, it's because you're so scared to let it go. Like, you're just so scared to let it go. Once you let it go, you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what they're going to do. But that's the beauty of it. That's the beauty of life. That's what love is. When you're like, love, I feel like is light. Love is light. Love is this love. Like, you don't have to question it. If you have to question it, you don't love that person. You don't love it. Like, I love doing YouTube videos. I don't have that many followers, but I love it. I love it. I love seeing myself. I love creating things. I love it. But if you say, oh, I love him, but he doesn't buy you a purse, now you're questioning it. He may not love me because he didn't buy me a purse, or I don't think I love him because he doesn't give me what I want. That's not love. That's so conditional. Like that's not love. You should love that person without having to control who they are. You should love them for who they are, because you will want them to love you for who you are, right? So are you with me? Exactly. So let go. Let go of that fear, let go of that control, and that will really like lift a lot of weight off of your back. You'll really start to see like, wow, it's gonna be scary though. It's like falling. It's just like falling. Letting go of control, letting go of that person's every moment, that movement, or like just anything. I'm just talking about anything, that job, like letting go. Stop trying so hard. Just let go and just flow. And once you do that, once you really do it, you will start to realize so much, like, wow, like I'm not stressed anymore. I'm not sad anymore. I'm not angry anymore. Like I don't have to. Everyone has free will. Like I'm okay. We're good. We're caught. You know, like you'll start to see a difference once you start letting go and stop holding on to that fear. And what I mean by fear, that control that you believe you have. So when you get triggered by something, you tend to have negative emotions. Most of the time you have negative emotions, mostly with childhood trauma, your ex, your abuser, your stalker, it's a lot of things. So I feel like coping and understanding your emotions, the first thing you have to do is ask this question: why? This person called me ugly. Why am I upset? I'm upset because I know I'm not ugly. Okay? If you know you're not ugly, then why are you upset? Because they called me ugly. Okay? You know, like when you really ask yourself that why and you break it down, there's no reason to be upset. There's no reason to really like be upset. Like, and like it's so easy to just react. Like someone's mad and hollering at you, oh, I'm gonna be mad and holler at you back. Like, but when you really step outside yourself and look at the situation, like this shit is kind of stupid. This is dumb. We don't need to do this. Like, why are we doing it? Why? Like, ask yourself that question. Why? And I feel like that works for me. When something happens, when like I get like a negative feeling or a bad feeling, or I'm trying to understand something, I ask myself those questions. Like I break it down. This happened and I feel some type of way. Why do I feel this way? What made me feel like this before? Have I had this feeling before? When did I have this feeling before? And I'm like, oh, because da 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 da. Oh, jealousy? Am I jealous? I might be jealous. Why am I jealous? Oh, because she has longer hair than me. Oh, because, you know, like you start really breaking it down. And only way you can break it down, only way you can really be truthful with yourself in that answering the why question is if you be real with yourself. You're being honest with yourself. And if you can be honest with yourself, you can make so much stuff happen for yourself. You will have so much more self-love, so much more self-respect. You'll have higher standards. Like, that's why I feel like the bad really heals us once we really know what it is. Your trauma that you went through, the stuff that you went through, is this building your character. Once you figure out why you went through what you went through, or once you figure that out, you start to realize who you are, because it made you. it made you. When you go through trauma as a kid, it affects your brain. It affects your brain. It affects you in your adulthood. It affects you in your relationships. When you are, say if you grew up in a toxic environment when you were growing up, and that's all you knew. So you try to create a family when you're older. You're gonna have that same type of energy, that same type of mindset, because that's all you knew when you were growing up. Of course, in the middle here, you kind of lose a little bit of that. Oh, I don't want that in my house. I don't want that in my house. But if you don't face it, what you went through, the big stuff is going to follow you through your childhood. Through your adulthood. And it's like generational curses, generational trauma. Like, it's a cycle. You're dropping it down to your seed. And you have to face yourself in the mirror and be like, hey now, you crazy boy, you crazy. You have to really look at yourself like, this is not right. I don't want this. This is not okay. Nah, this is not right. If someone did this to my daughter, like if you gotta think, like if I'm acting out of control, I'm being chaotic, and someone wants, if you put yourself outside of yourself, outside of your thoughts and your feelings, and you look at yourself of the way you're reacting to certain stuff, and you're hurting people, and if you really look at it, you look at yourself for who you are outside of yourself, or just think if someone did that to you, would you want to change? If you do want to change, why do you really want to change? You gotta break it down. Like, you gotta really break it down. First of all, why am I even acting like this? Why am I acting out of control? Why am I being chaotic? Why am I angry? Why am I sad? Why? Break it down. Take accountability. Make a choice. You do not have to don't let your trauma define who you are. Don't let people define who you are. Don't let society define who you are. You have control over what you do, what you say. You don't have control over what that person does and what that person says. But you can walk away. You can delete that message. You can block that person. You can scroll up. You can scroll. You have a choice. You can say no. You can say yes. You can walk away. But it's easier said than, I know it's easier said than done. But when you realize you can do that, like I can do this. You can do. When you realize you can do it, and you do it, you'll feel so good. You'll feel so much better. You'll feel more in control over your life. But if you continue to be in that same cycle when you know you're not happy, there's no one to blame but yourself. There's no one to blame but yourself. If you're, say if you have a friend group and they're always in a club drinking and smoking. And then one day you realize, like, dang, I've been drinking so much, my stomach hurt, I'm looking a little pale, I'm losing weight, like I'm looking crazy out here. I need to slow down on drinking and smoking. Then your friend hits you up, hey girl, so we got a section at 1:15, you gonna come outside? And you're like, why not? Because you're around that environment too. That's another thing. What environment are you in? Once again, it also goes back to the generational cycle, like generational curse, like the cycles. Like, say if your family has like an alcohol problem. Don't have an alcohol problem. Like if you know you don't like that, if you know you don't want that to be your life, if you see it and you know it causes the same thing that your mama went through, that your auntie went through, that your uncle went through, that your grandma went through, why do you want to be an alcoholic if you know you're not gonna get you're just gonna be like them? If you want to be like them, but don't be mad at the next person. You made that choice. You got to take accountability for it. You decided to do that. You have to live with that. That is your problem. That is your fault. You made that choice. I'm sorry. You did it. You did it. So getting triggered is one thing, but controlling how you feel, I'm so sorry, let's back up. Getting triggered is one thing, but controlling what you say, controlling your reaction, controlling what you do is another. Someone can be talking crazy to you. You can either walk away or act crazy back. But what happens after that? That's on you. That is on you. You have to also ask yourself, why did this person get me so out of character? Break it down. Why? I'm really sad right now because I don't have no control over this situation or this, or like it's the answer is literally embedded in you. And I'm not trying to dive too deep in triggering because it kind of goes in depth and dives deeper into like childhood trauma, generational curses, and I want to do a whole video in sections on that. But getting triggered causes more of that trauma. Getting triggered causes more of that generational curse and sadness and emotions and so on. Getting triggered is this emotions that are controlling you. You can get triggered. You can be so happy. You can be having the time. You can having the best day ever, and somebody can come up to you and be like, "Oh, so and so and so and so said this about you." Triggered. What she say? What? Who? Let me see. You know, like somebody can show you that instead of acting like that, like I just did. You can just be like, "Oh, cool, got it." Like it's that simple. Like once again, hold on, it is easier said than done because you have to go do that growth and understand this and understand that, but it really is just that, just making that choice to not care, just making that choice to be like, oh cool, just making that choice to be like, I'm not gonna let that affect me today. It's literally just that simple when you really think about it, like in a logical mindset instead of an emotional mind. That's what it is. Getting triggered, it triggers your emotional mindset. You can get a little in your feelings, but it's all on how you're gonna react to it, what you say and what you do afterwards when someone triggers you. I wanna know, are you thinking logical or are you being controlled by your emotions? Are you always triggered? Why? Why are you so emotional? You know that song by Jhené Aiko? She was like, I'm triggered, I am not okay. You need to stay out of my way, or some, maybe, I haven't listened to that song so long, I probably said that totally wrong, but basically like, just seeing someone's name, it could trigger you, trigger past memories, trigger a lot of unsaid things, a lot of hurt, and it's all because you haven't let it go. That's like what I feel like I've been saying over and over again. Like, you hold on to so much. Like, we hold on to so much. Like, humans are very emotional. We hold on to so much, and when we get triggered by stuff or we get an attitude so quick, we don't realize this is because we've been holding on to unsaid things, to hurt, to resentment. We've been holding on to that, and I feel like it plays a part in our health as well. Like this being like holding on to all that anger, all the stuff that you want to say, but you're just scared to say, holding on to all that fear, holding on to all of that, it causes health problems. Like, I truly believe that the environment you're in can literally kill you. The environment you're in can literally make you sick. Trust me, I know. The environment you're in can really harm you. And it sucks, especially when you're in a situation where you can't get out of that environment, or you feel like you can't. It's all about making that choice. It's all about letting go. It's all about love. And it's scary. Because you're so used to this environment. You're so used to it. And you think it's okay because this is all you know. You know, you don't want to look at the other side, because what if it's different? It's scary. Like, you know, it's not fear, but the control. That's what I'm saying. Control and fear to me kind of go hand to hand. The reasons why you're in those certain situations is because you know, like, it's like that control thing, really, like that. Comfortability too. Comfortability. You get comfortable in your fear. You get comfortable in the same environment, the same people, the same responses, you know? The same feelings. Even when the feelings are hurting you, the people are hurting you, you're so comfortable. Because you don't want to get triggered. You don't want to get triggered because this new thing is new and different and scary. Because it's triggering you something like, you know, like, you always been told, like, you can't sing, so you don't sing because you feel like you can't sing. But you can sing, but you're so scared to do it because you were in an environment where you weren't allowed to speak, you weren't allowed to sing, you weren't allowed to voice your opinion, you weren't allowed to express yourself. So when you do express yourself, it's very alien, very you know, and like it kind of triggers you back into that mindset, triggers you back into the past, triggers you back into that feeling. But once you let it go, once you really face your fears, once you let go of that control, that hold, that what's holding you back, you'll realize, like, wow, that was hell. Like, I have control, I got this, I can do this, you know? You'll start to really see who you are, not what your trauma is, not what your childhood is, not, you know? Like, you'll start to get to know what you like and what you don't like, instead of people telling you this is what you should like, this is what you shouldn't like, this is what you should do. Don't hang around them, don't be around them, don't listen to them. You start to really have your own voice, your own mind, your own opinion. So when someone triggers you, you'll feel it, but you don't have to react. You don't have to say nothing. You can delete, block, bye. You can look the other way. You have control. You have control. You are not your trauma. You are not your trauma. Stop letting people trigger you, because that means that person, that past, that feeling has control over you. That fear, once you face it, once you beat it down, it's a victory. Sometimes you gotta keep beating it down. Keep beating it down. Like, I'm so serious. Like, keep beating it down, because I'm not gonna play with you, fear. I'm not gonna play with you, fear. I'm not gonna play with you, guilt. I'm not gonna play with you, shame. That is not me. No, I'm so serious. That is not me. Like, really talk to it. Like, really talk. You have to look at yourself in the mirror. Face it. Literally. Face yourself. You gotta let it go. Talk to it. Question it. Try to understand it. When you understand it, You understand yourself. You understand why you move the way you move. Like, I'm gonna tell you this, like, I used to be so scared to go into the like Walmart by myself. Like, I used to be so scared. Like, I used to be like, I had so much anxiety, like so much anxiety. I used to be so scared to go put my gas on my, like, I used to be like scared, like really scared, like. And I was like, why? People's gonna be looking at me. They're gonna be thinking I'm looking like this, or thinking they're gonna be judging me. Why do I always feel like someone's judging me? Oh, because I got judged when I was a kid a lot. I used to always get judged and questioned. So when I start really thinking about it, the why, like when I ask myself the why do I feel like this when I go out to Walmart? Why do I, this was happening when I was like 19, 20. It really just stopped happening. Like, I kind of still kind of deal with it now, but like, it's not as bad at all. Like, I can do it, like, I'm fine now. But like, I used to really have like a problem with, like, I used to be like a little scared to go to Walmart by myself, or go put my gas, or just go out in public by myself, like where I know a lot of people's gonna be around there, like be there. I used to be scared. So like social anxiety type of feeling, like a lot of anxiety. Like, I would feel so much. I'll think about people looking at me, watching me, she's probably saying this about me, you know, like just getting judged. I'm like, why do I feel like they're all judging me? And like, no one's even saying anything to me. This is literally my head telling me these things. Like, no one has said anything to me, and I'm thinking all these things. Why? Broke it down. First thing was like, why do I feel like, first I was like, why am I so scared to go to the store? Because I feel like people are judging me. Why do I feel like people are judging me? Because of my hair, maybe, because of the way I look, because I'm, you know, like, I was like, why does that matter? Like, why are you judging yourself? And I was like, dang, I used to get judged a lot and questioned a lot when I was a kid, when I was a teenager. And I was to be like, well, I'm not a teenager no more. And you know what, I had to like be like, oh, I'm so beautiful. I have my own apartment, I have my own car, I have a good job. Like, just like basically mad, like just telling myself all the good things on top of that judgment. It basically buried that judgment. Like, it buried it. Like, I had to like literally like, you are amazing, you are okay, you are, like, I had to really tell myself that, like, you are okay, Ariana, you are okay, you are okay. You are, like, literally over and over and over, to really believe it in myself. Because for years I got judged, I got told this, I got told that, and it was everybody else's thoughts. I never had my own thoughts or my own opinion about myself. Instead, I had all these other people's opinions about who I was, and I didn't really realize it was a problem. Like, I didn't realize like that was still embedded in me until I realized I had a fear of going into a building with a lot of people by myself, because I feel like I'm getting judged. It be that deep. That's why asking yourself why is so important. Breaking down those feelings is so important, because the answer is literally there. You literally hold the answers. So stop getting triggered. Well, you're gonna get triggered. Hold on. You're gonna get triggered, but to cope with how you can cope with being triggered is by facing yourself, asking that why, breaking it down, being real with yourself, showing grace for yourself, showing grace for that moment, and letting go. I really want to talk more about getting triggered down in the comment section, so please comment, please give me advice, please, let's chat, let's talk about this, let's talk. Like, I love to talk, I love to give advice, and I am so down for that. Like, I'm definitely gonna do more videos like this, because I have like a lot of stuff like I love talking to people about, and I feel like a lot of people's not talking about it as much as I want. I want more friends that can talk about stuff like this. Like, let's be friends. But yeah, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. It was a little bit different. I'm definitely going to be doing more videos like this, a lot more videos, because I want to get more deep into this, because I love helping people understand what it really is. And it also helps me as well, like, understand people more, because I always wanted to be a therapist. I definitely want to start going back to school. I want to go back to college and get my bachelor's degree and probably doctor's degree. I just haven't really stepped into that yet, but I am thinking about doing that again. But I really want to start talking to people and really dive deep into the human brain, the human body, human emotions, and hopefully help a lot of people one day. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Sending you love and positivity as always. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.